You remember that last week we were factoring? We factor stuff like this, right? Is there anything common to all of those? No, right? So the next thing was to do the trinomial or the binomial factors, and you start here, what times what is x squared? X times x. Then you go down to the end one. What times what is 10? Well, could be 1 and 10, could be 2 and 5. And you want the combination that adds to 7. What combination adds to 7? 2 and 5. And after you had that, then you worried about the signs. Right here it's positive, so that means either plus, plus, or minus, minus. How do you choose which? You look at that middle sign. It's a positive, so you know both of those had to be positive. And then, of course, you did the inside-outside double check. That was a positive 2x. That was a positive 5x. And if you put those together, so you know you did it right. Right? Right. Then we also did things like, oh, where's a good one? Oh, where's a good one? How about this one? 2x squared plus, no, I forgot. I think it was a 15. I could be wrong. Plus 7xy it's been one of those days. Minus 15. Anything common to all of those? No. So then we're going to go to the binomial factoring. This one, it's a 2x squared now. If it's a 2x squared, what times what gives you 2x squared? 2x and 1x. I don't care if you put the 1 there or not. 2x and 1x multiplied give me 2x squared. Then you go down to the other end, it's 15. 1 and 15, 3 and 5. But if you look, none of those subtract to 7. That's because you have the number 2 out here. When you have a number out front, then you want the inside-outside combination to subtract to 7. So we need a combination here that's going to subtract to 7. Which one do you want to try first?
3 and 5.
3 and 5? And can you tell off the top of your head which way we should put them? No? So let's go 5, 3. What does that give you? 6x, 5x. That means it doesn't work, right? Now what? These don't subtract to 7. So now what?
Swap them out.
Flip them around. Flip around. Flip around. Oh, son of a biscuits. I forgot which way they were. Can you help me? What do we have? 5 here?
Yeah.
So put the 3 there. And the 5 here. What does that give us now? That's a 10x. And that is a 3x. There we go, right? That will subtract to 7. So we got the numbers right. Now we need to work with the signs. I have a negative down there. How do you multiply two things and get a negative? A positive and a negative. We want positive 7x, which means this one has to be positive and that one negative. So what do I put? What goes here?
Negative.
Negative to give me negative 3x, and that means this has to be positive. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah.
Do you remember doing that? Good. So today we're going to keep doing more factoring, but just a little bit different. Just a little different. For instance, what if I have 2x4? And what if I have minus 4x to the third? I remembered 2 of them there. I didn't have to go back in between to look. Remember back here, what's the first thing I ask you? Is there anything common? Is there anything common?
2.
There's a 2 in all of those, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to factor out a 2. Anything else? X squared. I can take out 2 x's out of those. And then what's left? 2 times what is 2? 1. I had 4 x's and I took out 2. So 2 left. 2 times what is negative 4? I had 3 x's and I took 2 out. There's 1 left, right? And then 2 times what is 8? I had 2 x's, but I took 2 out. Are we done?
No.
I'm not sure if we're done yet or not. 2x squared. What about what's inside now? This would have to be x and x. This would have to be 1 and 4, or 2 and 2. I need the combination that's going to add to 2. Give me the combination that adds to 2.
2.
Give me the combination that will add to 2.
2.
What's 4 plus 1? What's 2 plus 2? Do any of those add to 2?
No.
So what does that mean? Well, this part can't be factored. But remember, factors have to multiply together to give us the value we started with. So although you can't do this, these 2 things multiplied together give us what we started with, right? So this are the 2 factors. That's as far as you can go for the factors. And those are still factors because you multiply them together to get the thing you started with. This one doesn't factor any farther, but that's okay, right? We still have 2 factors. A lot of times people want to write prime when this doesn't factor. But you still have these 2 multiplied together. So that's as far as you can go on that one. Does that make sense? How about this? 10a b to the third. Take away 15a squared b squared. Anything common?
5.
He says what?
5.
5. 5's common. What else? Oh, she says a b squared. And what else? 1a. 1a, I have 1 and 2, so I can take out 1. And I have 3 b's and 2 b's, so I can take out 2. Then what do we have left? 5 times what is 10? 2. I had 1a, but I took it out. I had 3 b's, and I took out 2. So there's 1 line. Minus. 5 times what is 15? I had 2 a's, and I took out 1. There's 1 left. 2 b's, and I took out 2 b's. Can I factor this thing inside here anymore? No. So there's lots of different ways to factor. Let's see what else we have. How about this? Is there anything common to those? 25x squared and 16? Anything go into both of those? No. So what about this? I have a 25 there. Could be 5 times 5, could be 1 and 25, could be 5 and 5. Oh, look at over there. I have a 16. Look at all the possibilities for that. 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4. Holy cow. And they have to subtract to, what do they have to subtract to? Look over here. They had to subtract to 7 the number that was in the middle. We had 3 terms. The number in the middle, they had to subtract to 7. But John, there's nothing in the middle. What does that mean? Right. They have to subtract to 0. Anybody remember when there's no middle term like that? And also, by the way, there's nothing common like this one. This one, we could take out something common, and there was a term left. But here, there's nothing common to those. And there's no middle term. 25, 16. When you have no middle term like that, here's the shortcut. When you have no middle term, this is called the difference of 2 squares. 5 times 5, 4 times 4. If there's no middle term and you have a minus there, for sure, this is going to be 5x times itself. And for sure, this is going to be times itself. And how do you get a negative? One of each, and it doesn't matter because when you go to do your inside-outside double check, look what happens. What do you get here? 20x. What do you get here? 5x times negative 4. And what happens? They cancel each other out. That's what happens when you have the difference of 2 squares. If you notice there's only 2 terms, and this is a square, like 5 times 5 or 6 times 6 or 7, and so is this one, then it has to be the difference of 2 squares. 5x, 5x, 4 and 4, and it's going to be a plus and a minus every single time. So if you can recognize that, the squares and the minus, they're easy to factor, right? What if I have no middle term, right? Anything common to all of those? Well, both of those, I should say. Is there anything common with 149? But they're both squares, right? 100 is 10 times 10, 49 is 7 times 7. So the difference of 2 squares, what's this one going to be? 10x and 10x. What about this one, 49y squared? What times what is 49? 7 times 7. And what times what gives me y squared? So 7y, 7y. It's negative, so one of each. Negative times positive. What do you get here? Positive 70x. What do you get here? And what does that give us? 0. We have nothing in the middle. Right? Does that make sense? Is that making sense? Is that making sense? So compared to what we were factoring last week, some of them will be similar. Some of them you'll be able to factor something out and then go a little farther. Some of them you just take out a common factor. In a way, that's a little easier. Some of them don't have a middle term, and then it's two squares. So just some other different ways to factor just besides the two parentheses kind. Do you think you're good, or should I do about 78 more examples? You're good? Just be quiet so I can get my nap in before the end of the hour?
Sure.
Yes. Let's see here. How many of these should we do? Like 50? You know what I'm gonna do? Do you know what I'm gonna do? Page 186. Page 186. Let's pick a better color. Page 186. 86. WP 1 to 58. All. I almost made a crucial error this morning. A crucial error. Oh, yeah.